Hi, I'm Tamara, and I will be showing a quick demo and skills reel for VIS 1430, Lighting and Cinematography. Let's start with Week 1. Product lighting. Learning how to shape, diffuse, and control reflections in product photography. Here are some examples of lighting that on 3 different setups that shows how dimming and/or brightening the lighting have different effects on the product. Week 2, digital workflow. Working how to digitally prioritize files and organize post-production efficiently. Putting each files and graphics and sound effects, etc. into their proper folder and efficiently import and export to a workflow folder. Also, learning the best practices to sync media files and to export to designated folder. Week 3, white balance and exposure. Editing videos to the accurate color and proper exposure. We learned how different color temperatures affect an image and how to adjust for different lighting conditions. We did 3 videos, one the correct balance and exposure, and the other 2 with an overbalanced video and underexposed video. By using the Lumetri color, we edit the film to have a proper balance exposure on both films. Here is a glimpse of my editing outcome. Week 4. How to set camera configurations for professional results. We learned to set menu settings of the Canon C70, like setting the shutter mode to angle, or on the same menu, going to the autofocus mode, and set the focus to continuous. In the camera setup, scrolling to face detect and tracking make sure it is on. With that, also going to custom picture and setting the custom picture to C1, BT.709 wide DR, or go to main recording format and select your format to MP4 HEVC YCC 42210 bit. And change the settings to 1920 by 1080. And also, the f-stop will change to 4 and the shutter angle of the camera to 288, followed by adjusting the ISO to 3200. These are some of the setting for professional pictures. Week 5. RAW and lookup tables. We learned to understand the power of RAW and lookup tables, and the advantages of shooting RAW in different settings. Understand how dynamic range and bit depth affect grading flexibility. The file will have a flat look when changing to the C-Log2, which will give you much accessibility to having the right look and outcome of what you want to portray in your film. We applied a cube file to the film in Premiere Pro, and here is the outcome of the process. Week 6. Color correction and grading in DaVinci Resolve. Creating a polished cinematic look. In post, we learned primary and secondary color correction, matching shots, and stylized grading. Also, exploring scopes, waveform, vector scope, parade, and contrast adjustments. With learning each scope, we learned how highlights and contrast help with the outcome of adjusting color, like making either greens more greener and/or having a crisp look with scenery in post. Here is my final look with a couple of examples that was giving. Week 7. Using ND filters for exposure and depth of field. Controlling brightness and depth of field in bright conditions. We learned how ND filters are helpful for outdoor conditions. Like certain filters, for instance, ND6 filter will only show the subject, and other filters will pull your background into focus. ND2 will pull more focus into the subject and the background together, which is your depth of field. while adjusting your exposure to the right setting for bright conditions. Week 8. Canon C70, file formats, quality, and file size. We learned on choosing the right recording format for different projects, how the XFAVC, 10-bit, 422, DCI 4K, all I format has the biggest file space of almost 3 gigs, which you can only access by using a VLC media player to access the file. MP, 410-bit, 422, 4K has the second largest file size with a little over 1 gig, while the MP 48-bit, 422, 4K is the smallest file. Each has their own purpose, but the MP 410-bit, 422, 4K is more helpful when filming. But each film is hard to tell apart. Week 9. Color grading. I worked with natural daylight to shape a scene, balance with color grading to the film that was chosen with a bit of color in it. To replicate the scene which was chosen, I had to adjust in Premiere Pro. This is the outcome, trying to mimic the dominant color grade and trying to match the scene. Week 10. Lenses, focal lengths, and compression. We learned how lenses affect composition, depth, and perspective, how wide, standard, and telephoto lenses affect perspective, distortion, and depth of field. Each photo that was shot spanned from a 14mm lens to a 200mm lens, with the depth of field adjusted with each photo. The subject is also distorted with the background in each picture. Here is my examples shown here. Week 11. Camera movement. This week, we learned the use of movement to enhance storytelling. How handheld, dolly, gimbal, and slider techniques are used in cinema and filming. We learned how movement affects pacing, mood, and immersion of the film you are shooting. From how a pan can affect the way you, the viewer, views the film and the attention of the story. Or how a tracking shot convey how the character is moving and sometimes the urgency of the moment. Here are some examples of camera movements. Thank you for watching my video.